The credibility of the legacy media has been imploding for years, but now with the release of the Twitter files, any semblance of trust has completely disappeared. We're going to see some of the most embarrassing media reactions to Twitter's bombshell revelations, and we're going to see how even members of the media themselves have had enough. You are not going to want to miss this. So let me set the stage here a bit. As we've been reporting over the last several days, the first of what Elon Musk is calling the Twitter files was revealed over the weekend. Elon made the first dump of emails and internal communications within Twitter available to Substack journalist Matt Taibbi, who published them in a thread of just over 40 tweets, revealing the inner workings of how Twitter employees, Democrat politicians, and deep state operatives all colluded together to inordinately affect the outcome of the 2020 election by deliberately suppressing the New York Post's Hunter Biden laptop bombshell that exploded on the scene in October of that year. The bombshell revelations have gotten mixed responses among the legacy media. Most major outlets simply ignored the revelation, which is rather surprising given that I always thought it was their job to uncover corruption like this. NBC News decided instead to focus on the rise of hate speech on Twitter. That's right. The far-left activists disguised as journalists over at NBC are far more interested in blaming Elon Musk for the supposed rise in hate speech on Twitter than on the fact that the deep state, the Democratic Party, and Twitter employees together deliberately colluded to interfere with the democratic integrity of an election. So one reaction thus far over the weekend has been to simply ignore the dump. And by the way, that omission is not just being noticed here in the United States, even across the pond. Pundits are noticing the strange silence coming from the legacy media. British scholar Matthew Goodwin tweeted out, "Has the BBC even mentioned Twitter files? I see a nice story on the BBC homepage about Kate Winslet paying a family's energy bill and dialogue between Ngozi Fulani and the palace, but nothing on Twitter files. Do a large section of the media realize how biased they look right now? Having spent 6 years debating electoral integrity, misinformation, and post-truth politics, it's a little baffling how little attention this story has received in UK media." Yeah, you think so? Makes you wonder if such silence is actually intentional. So you had the ignoring. You had the evasion deflection by NBC, but then you did have a host of pundits and commentators do their best, and I really mean that. They did their embarrassingly best to discredit and demean Matt Taibbi, who's the one who published the first of the Twitter files. Let's start with one of the most embarrassing self-owns imaginable. The far-left activist from the Daily Beast, Wajahat Ali, tweeted out, quote, "Matt Taibbi, what a sad, disgraceful downfall. I swear, kids, he did good work back in the day. Should be a cautionary tale for everyone selling your soul for the richest white nationalist on earth. Well, he'll eat well for the rest of his life, I guess. But was it worth it?" Now, kids, I want you to know who is arrogating himself to be your mentor, this fellow Wajahat Ali. As it turns out, he's an active part of the very web of corruption that the Twitter files is exposing. This is the same fellow who tweeted out a response back in October of 2020 when it was first being reported that the New York Post Hunter Biden story was being suppressed as Russian disinformation. He tweeted out, quote, "Good. Russian disinformation meant to harm our democracy shouldn't be given mainstream platforms." That's the guy who's advising you on who to listen to for reliable information. That one. That's impugning Matt Taibbi's character. Bona fide shill of Woke Inc. Let's go to the bulwarks. Tim Miller. This is golden. Here's his response to Matt Taibbi, quote, "Matt Taibbi is very upset the Biden campaign asked a platform to take down some revenge porn targeting the candidate's son. I'm sure Matt would be totes cool with people tweeting out his adult kids' genitals because they didn't like him and would not ask his buddy Elon to help." Now, this tweet takes evasive, deflecting straw men to a literal art form. Now, this guy knows, and again, that's key to all of this. All these guys know that the Hunter Biden laptop is not ultimately about Hunter. It's about old Sleepy Joe. It's all about bike riding Biden. It's all about the big guy getting his 10% from Hunter's illicit spoils. They all know that, every single one of them, and they are all masters at deflection and evasion. I think Charlie Kirk said it best. The same corporate liberal media shills who claim the Hunter Biden laptop story was Russian disinformation are now attacking Matt Taibbi and downplaying the bombshells contained within the Twitter files. Make no mistake, this is the biggest media story in the last decade, and it is. And if you think what we've seen so far is bad, I'm going to show you the most embarrassing media reactions of them all. But first, you need to click on that link below and protect yourself from all of this economic insanity with the timeless value of gold and silver. As you know, patriots of the centuries have always relied on gold and silver to protect their assets during economic storms, and that is where the amazing patriots over at Goldco come in. If you've got $50,000 or more in an IRA, 401k, or savings account, you need to protect those assets from bumbling Biden's insanity with the timeless value of gold and silver. Click on that link below. Talk to our good friends over at Goldco. They're patriots just like us, and they want you to succeed so much. They're offering up to $10,000 in free silver if you open up an account with them. But this is a limited time offer, so don't wait. Click on that link below or visit my special website, turleytalkslikesgold.com. So listen to these reactions to Matt Taibbi and see if you notice a pattern here, right? There's another media hack, Ben Collins. Imagine throwing it all away to do PR work for the richest person in the world. Humiliating shit. MSNBC's Chris Hayes. Watching some of the most famous, most powerful, and richest men red pill themselves into disaster. Pretty wild. Elias Cepeda. Watching Matt's unbelievable fall into lazy reactionary commentator and now PR hand for the world's richest man is depressing. Jason Schreier, editors are great, not just because they make your work sharper, but because you can ask them things like, hey, should I be doing PR work for the richest man on the planet? And they'll all say, nah. Now, are you catching a bit of a pattern here, a pathetic pattern? I mean, we could keep going. We could get Jason Wilson. I know he's telling you what you want to hear, but that doesn't change the fact that he's working PR for one of the richest men in the world. Or Ross McCafferty. He didn't get the story. It was handed to him so he could do PR for the world's richest man. Talk about the most intellectually lazy people in the planet. These aren't journalists. These are parrots. Media critic Glenn Greenwald said it best. The sleazy pro-censorship pack of liberal employees of media corporations united last night to attack Matt Taibbi as they do to any journalist who breaks a real story about real power centers. And because they were so desperate to discredit it, showed what they are. And then he highlights post after post after post of these verbal zombies. And he comments, quote, click on this link. Just click it. You'll notice how these liberal media employees operate as a hive mind, an in-group pack, reciting the same phrases on cue. They have no novel thoughts. They're Democratic Party activists who unite as pack animals. As usual, these people who demand the power to censor the internet to protect you from disinformation are the most frequent and casual liars. The most pitiful part of their attack is the utter lack of self-awareness. They claim Taibbi serves power, the hegemonic force in D.C., Hollywood academia, the United States security state, and corporate media is DNC liberalism. Them. Their lives are about nothing but servitude to power. Now, that is journalism. That is original thinking and rhetorical brilliance. Glenn Greenwald. This, to me, is the most far-lasting effect that the Twitter files are actually already having. The Twitter files are completely delegitimizing the woke corporate media in the eyes of tens of millions of people who would have otherwise never known of these things apart from Elon Musk's Twitter takeover. He really is changing the world in ways that promise to benefit patriots, literally. for generations to come. Very exciting stuff. As always, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. You'll definitely want to check out my latest video on Arizona's Katie Hobbs getting caught red-handed. You're going to absolutely love it, so make sure to click on that link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.